All right, guys, as a quick reminder, your test is not next class, but the following class, so it should be Monday for us. So you'll be expected when you get back to class tomorrow on Thursday to have your whole study guide done, and we'll do some reviewing for it. This is the last thing that you need to learn for this unit. These are called literal equations. So literal equations you were introduced to in your last blockbuster, and they are pretty much just different equations where you need to solve for different variables. So I know we know how to do this basic one as the first thing in your notes, so you guys should be following along on these notes as you go and writing down everything that I write. So if I ask you to solve for x here, I think we can all agree that our first step would be to add 5 to both sides. And if you add 5 to both sides, these cancel out, you get 2x equals 17, and your last step would be to divide by 2, and you would get these cancel, x is equal to 17 over 2, and we can just leave it like that. Now, if I'm asking you in the second example right here, I'm asking you to solve for x, and what that means is to get x by itself. So we're going to go through the same exact steps that we just did in the last one. So in the first one, we added 5 to both sides. So I'm going to add n to both sides right here. Now, when you add n, that goes away, and we get mx is equal to k plus n, and you can write it as n plus k or k plus n, it doesn't matter, but we can't make it nk or kn because they're not like terms. Now the last step is going to be, I'm trying to get x to be by itself, so I'm going to divide by m here, and I'm just going to put all of this over m and leave it just like that. That's fine. Okay, so your final answer is x is equal to k plus n over m. And you solve for x, you got it by itself. So what's the same? The same is that we still did inverse order of operations. We still added and subtracted, and then we multiply or divided at the end. What's different is that we have all variables. Okay, and there's variables in our answer rather than just being 17 over 2. We're not getting a numerical variable or answer, we're getting variable answers, which is fine. Okay, so we're going to go through a few examples. You're going to follow along in your notes. I'm asking you to solve for x right here. So the first thing I need to do is subtract b from both sides to get that to go away. Now you have ax is equal to c minus b. Now we still have an a up front, and the a is being multiplied by the x, so I'm going to divide it on both sides, and you're left with just x is equal to c minus b over a, and we got the x to be by itself. Now I want you to pause this video and try this one out. I'm asking you to solve for b. Pause the video, try it out, play this when you're done, and I'll show you how to do it, and we'll see if we got the same answer. So to solve for b, I'm going to add... We have some options here. You could first subtract a if you wanted to, and that would give you negative b is equal to negative a plus m. And I put the a first. It doesn't matter. You could have done m minus a. Both should be the same thing, so maybe we'll write it like that. Let's write it as m minus a. Now from here, I still have a negative up front, so we need to multiply or divide everything by negative 1. Okay, so if you think about when you multiply or divide by negative 1, all that does is it changes the sign. So this becomes a b, my m becomes a negative m, and my negative a divided by negative 1 is going to become a positive a. Okay, that will give you the same exact answer as what you would have gotten if you switched the numbers the other way. So we got the b to be by itself, and we're good. It says literal equations in 2 or more variables. So an equation in 2 variables such as 3x plus 2y equals 8, or a formula in 2 variables such as a equals 1/2 bh, which is the area of a triangle formula, can be written so that one variable is a function of the other variable. So for this one, I want to write that y is a function of x, which in other words means I want to get the y to be by itself here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is if I have 3x plus 2y equals 8, I want to get rid of this 3x first. I'm trying to get the y to be by itself. So it'll go away over here. Over here, I'm going to get 2y, and then 8 minus 3x. I can't combine like terms. I'm going to write the x's first. So it's negative 3x plus 8. And then my last step is I still have a 2 up front, so I'm going to divide by 2 here, here, and here. Okay, up here we did it together. I divided by a as a whole. Here I'm doing it separate. It's okay, you'll get the same answer. These cancel. We get negative 3x over 2 here. 8 over 2 becomes 4, and you got y to be by itself, so we're good. I want you to do the same thing here. Try to get y by itself. Pause the video. Play it when you have an answer and see if you get the same thing as me. I'm going to subtract 5x from both sides, and that gives me 4y is equal to negative 5x plus 20. Divide by 4 for everything, and we get y is equal to negative 4x over, or 5x over 4 plus 5. Okay, so we got the y to be by itself. Here's some word problems that we're going to try out. This is all about the area of a triangle. So it says the area of a triangle is given by the formula a equals 1/2 bh, where b is the base and h is the height. So I'm asking you to solve for the height. It says solve the formula for the height h. So I want to take this formula, a equals 1/2 bh, and I want to get the h to be by itself. So I don't like fractions, so the first thing I'm going to do is multiply by 2 on both sides. That's going to give me 2a over here. We're multiplying by 2 to get rid of this, so 2 times 1/2 just goes away. And then you get bh, because the half of 2 is 1, and these cancel each other out. Okay, so this and this go away, we end up with a 2 here. Now I still need to get the h by itself. All I have to get rid of is the b, so since it's b times h, I'm going to divide by b over here, divide by b over here, and now I have the h by itself, so I get 2a over b is equal to h. And now it says use the rewritten formula to find the height of the triangle, which has an area of 64.4 meters. So I'm going to take my formula, I'm going to put the h first this time. 2 times the area is equal to, or 2 times the area divided by the base is equal to the height. I told you this is my area, so that's my a, and if you look up at the picture, I told you the b, or the base, was 14. So if I plug all that in, I'm going to have h is equal to 2 times my a, which is 64.4, all divided by my base, which was 14. And if we put that in our calculator, 2 times 64.4 is 128.8 divided by 14 gives me 9.2. And again, that was for h, so h, my height, should be 9.2 meters, and that should answer the question. Okay, so a little bit of application right there. I want you to try this one, so pause it and then come back to me. It says to get the width by itself here. So this is the formula for perimeter. So pause it, try it out, come back. I'm going to show you right here. 2L plus 2W. Get the W by itself. So the first thing I'm going to do is subtract the 2L from both sides. That gives me P minus 2L is equal to 2W. Let's get rid of the 2's because I need the W to be by itself. So you divide each thing by 2. This goes away. This goes away too. And you're left with P over 2 minus the 2's canceled. So just an L is equal to W. Okay, so you got the W by itself. Now in the bottom part, it says use that to find the width. But they gave us some information. They told us that P was 19.2, and they told us that the L right here, the length, is 7.2. So let's plug that into our formula. Your formula says P over 2 minus L equals W. I'm going to plug in my L and my P, so 19.2 over 2 minus 7.2 is equal to W. Let's do some calculating. 19.2 divided by 2 gets me 9.6 minus 7.2 should be equal to W. 9.6 minus 7.2 is equal to 2.4. So W is equal to 2.4. And our units for this one are feet, and you should be done. Okay, so make sure you have all these notes copied down. At this point, you can go show the sub that you copied down all the notes and you have the video. You can do the practice worksheet that you're going to be given. Do your best. If you get stuck, skip a question and we'll come back to it together. Remember, by the time you get back to me in class on Thursday, you should have your whole study guide done. You've had plenty of time to do this. You had all of break. I will put the answer key on Schoology on Thursday so you can check your answers and we'll have time to review in class.